Hello and welcome to EdQuest. This is part 4 of our SEBI graded daily quiz, which is based on previous year questions. So we have already done 3 parts, and solution for all the 3 parts has already been uploaded, and now we will continue with our fourth part. So let us see first question. So first question is, who can issue certificate of deposit? This is a very simple question. Question is based on money markets, and this certificate of deposit is a money market instrument. So who generally issues certificate of deposit? It is scheduled commercial banks and all India financial institutions. So it is not corporate house. Corporate houses do not issue certificate of deposit, they issue commercial papers, right? So the answer to this question is A and C, scheduled commercial banks and all India financial institutions. So let us move to next question. Next question is, securities derive their meaning from definition provided in. So there are 4 acts mentioned here, that is SEBI Act, Securities Contract Act, Indian Contract Act and Depositories Act. And there is also option E, which I deliberately put to mislead, that is A and B. But if you have a read definition of securities and these 2 acts even start in their starting pages, you would know the answer. That answer to this is Securities Contract Act. So I'll tell you why. So section 2 of Securities Contract Act, it completely defines what are securities, right? But securities are also defined in SEBI Act. Again, there is, like, I suppose that is section 2 of SEBI Act again. But if you read definition of securities in SEBI Act, what SEBI Act says, that whatever has been defined in Securities Contract Act shall be considered as a security for SEBI Act. So that is why the ultimate answer for this question becomes Securities Control Regulation Act of 1956. So this was one simple question, Anna. Let us move to third question. Third question is again, which of the following law is not covered under securities law? So there are again 4 acts, same: SEBI Act, Securities Contract Act, Indian Contract Act, or Depositories Act, or all are Securities Act. So Indian Contract Act is actually not a Securities Contract Act. It is some civil law and it has nothing to do with contract under or any contract related to securities. So SEBI Act, Securities Contract Act and Depositories Act, these are 3 prime most laws we consider for regulation and development of securities in India. So let us move to next question. So which of the following is incorrect regarding foreign currency exchangeable bonds? So there are again four statements. Statement 1 is, these are described by an investor living outside India. Then statement 2 is, principal and interest on bond are paid in foreign currency. These are exchangeable into equity shares of the same company's third statement. And the fourth statement is, this can be offered by a listed company. Or all are correct. So not all are correct. This third statement, that is, these are exchangeable into equity shares of the same company, is a wrong statement. Rest 3 are right. So now let us understand what is foreign currency exchangeable bond and how it is related to foreign currency convertible bond, and what these two translate into a third instrument, a very novel instrument you might have learned anyway. So let us see. This is FCCB. I guess FCCB we already have covered in part 3 or part 2 of our this quiz, previous year questions quiz. So what did we discuss in FCCB in that quiz? That, see, this is the bond which was issued today, right? It has maturity of say 10 years. So during the period you would be receiving X% interest, and at the end of maturity it will be converted into equity share. So this was about FCCB, that is it was getting converted into an equity share, right? So equity, that conversion was dependent upon whatever pre-arranged or pre-agreed conversion rate was available. So depending upon that, there will be conversion of uh, bond into equity. So if you are not getting this in particular detail, kindly you can refer to part 3 or part 2. There I have discussed FCCB in a finer detail, right? So this was about FCCB. Then there are three important properties of FCCB: issued or subscribed by those who live outside India. So both are same things. Issued outside India. Then again in foreign currency, nothing could be more obvious than this. Then another most important point here is principal and interest. These both are paid in foreign currency, right? So fourth point is its conversion into equity at the end of its maturity, right? So at the end of its maturity, it will be converted into equity of the same company. But when it comes to foreign currency exchangeable bonds, these three parameters remain the same, but this fourth parameter, this would change. So what would happen to this? This is saying that it is exchangeable. So what exchangeable means? So in FCCB we have seen that your bond will be converted into equity of the same company, but in FCEB your bond will be converted into equity of, or can be converted into equity of, some other company. So sounds little weird, but this is the actual case. So let us say you have like Reliance ka bond, right? So that is highly unlikely, but at the end of maturity there will be like options. So this all things would be pre-agreed. So that, as in the case of FCCB, there was pre-agreement regarding the conversion, right? In similar fashion, there will also be pre-agreement regarding two things, that is rate of conversion and the other companies which into which you can convert it, right? So it may happen that at the end of maturity you will be available. So it is not like you can convert it into any company's bond. So there will be like specific companies related to that scheme and you can convert it in that way. So Reliance ka bond, let us say Tata ka ek option hoga, then there will be option of say Maruti Suzuki or SBI. So in this way, at the end you can exchange your bond against equity of some other company. So that is why that particular statement was wrong. Okay, I hope you understand this. Now mind this particular part, that is principal and interest, which is paid in foreign currency. So now let us understand what I was saying. In case of FCCB and FCEB, we said that principal and interest, these are paid in foreign currency, right? So for which kind of company this particular scheme, that paying in foreign currency, would be suitable? So let us say if there are two companies, one is IT company which largely deals in export of services, so earning is in foreign currency, and then there is like any domestic company jiska majorly sale is in domestic market, right? So it is not exporting, it is just selling in domestic market, so her earning would be in domestic currency only. So as we very often witness, the conversion rate of dollar and rupee. It keeps on changing, right? So if a domestic company ends up issuing such bonds where it is supposed to pay principal and interest in foreign currency, and suddenly, like, sorry, so what we are discussing this rupee dollar conversion rate. So एक domestic company है which has like better sale in domestic market, right? And it has issued FCCB or FCEB at say rupees 70 when dollar conversion rate was rupee to dollar conversion rate was 70, right? And suddenly this rate reached to 100. So $1 for 100 rupees. So in this, it issued in this situation, but suddenly if such a situation emerges, so this company will be affected by change in currency conversion rate, and that will be very loss making situation, right? So that is like very self speaking. Again, if it is an export company IT company which is exporting services, so her earning are always in, let us right now assume that it is exporting services in United States, so her earning would be in dollars always. So no matter what rate this changes to, so her earning would be in dollars, and whatever payment on principals and interest it has to make, it can do it through dollars only. So as this company would be always available with dollars. So that is why those companies which are involved in exports all are ones who go for FCCB and FCEB, right? So this was part 1. So now how to solve these problems, because in this case domestic companies would never get access to foreign market or money from foreign, and that is a huge money. Like in western countries there is huge money available, but if a domestic company, because of this particular problem, it cannot access to that particular capital. So to solve that situation, we come up with concept of masala bond. So in case of masala bond, what happens that you are supposed to, so these are rupee denominated as they are called. So principal and interest, these are both paid in domestic currency, that is in this case rupee. In case of masala bond it is rupee. Then there are similar to masala bond, there is samurai bonds and many other such financial instruments. So I hope you are getting what we are speaking, like what we are discussing right now, and why this FCCB and FCEB get us to masala bonds, right? So I have like dealt this particular thing in good detail. We'll move to next question. Okay, so next question is, which of the following act of parliament provides for securities trading and running of stock exchanges in India? So there are four options: securities SEBI Act, Securities Contract Act, and Indian Contract Act, and there is Depositories Act. So there was slight confusion between Securities Contract Act and SEBI Act, which is obvious. And if you think that means, if you read Securities Contract Act, it to an extent it fulfills this particular requirement that securities trading and running of stock exchanges in India is provided by Securities Contract Act. But if you read SEBI Act also, this is quite convincing again. So there is a conflict, and I could not find like a very prominent solution to this particular problem, and that is why from whatever sources I read, majorly suggested that it should be SEBI. So even if you think that answer is A and B both, it should be fine. So I don't know, maybe from wherever I got this question, so this like exam question never came out, so it is just hearsay or whatever we translate from each other. And in that situation, something in this question line must have we must have missed. So maybe this confusion is because of that, but whatever it is, this is the situation. Okay, I think I have answered all of the questions in uh, details wherever it was possible. So I hope you have liked it, and if you have liked it, kindly like, share, and subscribe. So we'll meet you in part 5. Thank you.